Alright guys, I appreciate you all for joining me in the second installment on how to tie the FG knot in what I consider the easiest, most efficient, and quickest way. And in this demonstration you're going to be able to get results like this without having to use your teeth, without having to anchor your rod, anchor the tag ends, or anything like that. It can all be done on slack line. And this is all going to be tied using 30-pound braid and a 60-pound monofilament leader. And to give you guys an idea what you're looking at, the white end of the braid is going to be the tag end. The black side of the braid is going back to the rod tip. This is going to be your tag end of your leader, with this end over here on the left going back to the hook. And what we're going to do to start this knot off and prep it is we're going to take our thumbnail and our pointer finger, and we're just going to kind of pinch and scrape any line twist, any debris off the line, and most importantly we're going to kind of remove some of the waxy coating that may be on the braid. And we do this simply because we want the braid to kind of dig in to the leader. And sometimes if you're using like a heavy fluorocarbon or an abrasion resistant mono, sometimes they don't like to compress very readily. So this is going to kind of help the braid kind of bite into the leader. So do that, 5, 6, 7 times, something like that. Alright, so that's good. What we're going to do now is take our leader, lay it behind the main line, like so. And with the side of the braid that's going back to the rod tip, we're going to take that end, bring it down, around, and then lean it back and pinch it between our thumb and our forefinger to make sure it stays put. And as we lean it back, we're pinching it with this so we can put a little bit of tension on the line as we lean it back. It sounds more complicated than it really is. You kind of got to pinch the lines together when you're actually making the wraps, and you're just kind of feathering a little bit of tension on as you wrap it back. So we're going to go down around like so, down, around, and again leaning it back. We'll say that's wrap number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, as you wrap this, when you're actually tying the knot, you can actually stop and kind of move your fingers forward and pinch again. But I'm going to try to tie the rest of this a little bit more exposed so you can see how the wraps are forming. $12, $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $20. Sorry about that. $20, $21, $22, $23, $24, $25. We'll go $26 like so. And what we're going to do now to keep any of these wraps from unraveling, we're going to half hitch. And I like to start my first half hitch starting from behind. So when we make our half hitch, we're going to make sure it encompasses both the braid and the leader end. So you got one half hitch. And you can now tighten down the knot, but we're going to go ahead and wrap a second one so I can show you exactly how the half hitch works. So since our first half hitch started behind, our second one's going to alternate and start in front. So we're going to go ahead, add our second half hitch. And when you make your half hitches, you want to make sure that they don't get past like that. If your half hitch kind of goes on top of your wraps, when you cinch it down, it's going to break those wraps apart. So you always want to make sure it starts close to your end point, and then you cinch it down ahead of the wraps, like so. Give it a little tug, nothing, not too much tension. And now we're going to look at our wraps. Now you can see where I kind of opened it up and started wrapping more visibly. So you may in fact see a little bit of non-uniformity. But when you tie it on your own and you're not basically opening it up to take a look at it, and you basically are doing the wraps all at one shot, you'll get better uniformity as long as you keep your fingers pinched around the line. Again, this is an example, so I can't. It's tough to do it perfectly while showing you how to do it. In the third installment, you'll see me tie a couple clean ones. So with that said, this is now ready to be cinched down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glove up. Alright, now that I'm gloved up, I can go ahead and really wrench this knot down. You can see it kind of twisting up as it pulls the wraps tight. And you can kind of see the white is getting a little translucent. Alright, you can see now this is the end result of cinching down the line. And you can see down at the base here, it's pretty tight. And as you move up through the midsection of the knot, had they been fully wrapped under tension, this is what you'd be looking at. There's no real differentiation between color between the white and the blue. They're all translucent. What you see that looks white is just a reflection. Whereas on this one, you can see towards the head of the knot, it got a little tiny bit squirrely because that's what happens if your wraps aren't kept under tension. So we're going to pretend that this is a perfect knot, and we're going to go ahead and finish it. Okay, now with the knot cinched, we already have 2 half hitches down, and I'm going to wrap a third one. Only encompassing the braid, and a fourth one. Again, only encompassing the braid. And with those 2 half hitches only on the braid, I can now cut this mono tag as tight as I can get. So get in real close. Those 2 half hitches only on the braid are going to protect the line from any nicks that it can be exposed to while you're trimming that tag. And it's up to you if you want to add more half hitches or finish it in a different way. You can technically just wrench down that half hitch there and fish it the way it is there, but I kind of like to go a little bit further, just one more half hitch. Or we can finish it off like this. Start it off like it's a half hitch, only we're going to go 4 more times. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to go ahead and keeping the wraps from the half hitch from going up on top of your knot, we're going to pull it back like so. You can see it kind of unravel, and you see how the head's getting over top. What we do now is we kind of pinch it back. You're going to see the loop around here kind of disappear. And pinch it back, and pinch it back, and you just feather it. And you can see now, before I cinch it down, the tag now is no longer at the end of the knot, it's all the way in the back. And we can really tighten it up good. We are now at the point where we can trim the braid tag, and we're now done with the knot. Alright, so let's do a quick comparison. The bottom knot here is the knot I just tied for you guys on camera. This one here is one I tied off camera, and it kind of goes to show you just how important it is to keep the lines pinched, to keep the tension on the wraps by pinching the line, and to make sure that you're always leaning the wrap back towards the terminal end of your leader as you go. So that way the wraps are a little bit more uniform. You can see on both knots the compression's good at the base of the knot, The compression's good in the midsection of the knot, but towards the head of the knot, you can see the bottom one, which is basically where I was showing you how to make the wraps and the whole knot was exposed. I couldn't get them as uniform. The tension wasn't as consistent when I was making the wraps. Whereas this one up here, since I was able to do it just keeping the line pinched, it came out much cleaner and much more uniform. But I hope you guys enjoyed this part. This was part 2, and it really goes to show you kind of how easy this method of tying the FG knot really is. And it goes to show you that a lot of methods that you see on other people's channels, you see in the head of the knot down here, you really do see it's loose through here, tight through here, kind of tight through here. And what will happen is, as you cast and retrieve and the knot hits the guides, this section here that's loose because you didn't put enough tension on it or you couldn't maintain proper tension when you're making the wraps, this won't cinch down when you pull on it. As it hits those guides and as these knots get kind of kneaded around the line rollers, whatever slack is in here is going to be absorbed by the higher tension portion of the wrap. So what's going to happen is this will get tighter, this midsection will get looser, and over time it'll just fail. You'll make a cast, it'll hit one of the guides, and literally your leader will pull out and you'll have what looks like a caterpillar at the end of your line. So stick around, check out the third part of the series. It'll give you an idea of just how simple it is. You're going to see me tie them real time. I'm going to tie them pretty quickly. I think I could probably get these done in about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes with half hitches. So I encourage you guys to check that video out as well. And again, I thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the time you guys spend here. I know your time's valuable. The last thing I want to do is waste any of it. So if you're not already a subscriber and you enjoy my channel, please subscribe. And if you learned something or enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.